All right, what is up, everyone? My name's St. Kramer, Brian the Grizzly, Brandman Brandon, and we are going to talk about the latest episode of The Mandalorian, The Spies. So, right off the bat, what you guys think about it? Let Brandman go first.
I think we've already established that this season is less Mandalorian and more Bo Katan, which
Mm.
which I'm cool with. I love Katie Sackhoff. But I really liked this episode from the first couple of frames. It was giving me Blade Runner flashbacks, the way the opening scene was shot. Uh, I liked that Giancarlo Esposito, who it's always a pleasure to see him in pretty much
Exactly.
anything he's in. I liked that we saw kind of more Mandalorians doing their thing, them being rallied up. I thought the action sequences were really on point this time, like especially on point this time. Just some of the back and forth with Grogu got a little repetitive at times, but we can kind of go into that like more later. But I really like this one. This episode really kind of kept me riveted and on my feet. Just from an action standpoint, spectacle. I think this did really good in terms of spectacle. This episode in particular, I thought they did a great job. Really enjoyed this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then real quick, Derby said positive thoughts, best episode of the season. So, cool. What you got, Brian? Yep.
I think the biggest thing about this episode is it's called Spies.
Mm-hmm.
Not spy. We know there's one spy, right? It's called Spies.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the biggest part of this whole thing. So how did they know where they were? There's another spy in the Mandalorians in that little group. That's what's so cool. And is it the armorer with her little demon horns? Is it Bo-Katan's the person she had fallen off with that got in the middle of the fight in the middle of the damn voyage? Who is it? It could be him because he's basically set up trying to kill something. Kill what's his name?
Paz.
With the axe. Paz Vizsla.
Paz Vizsla.
Yeah. So it's like, they got an argument, and he set up Paz just to do that. But I guess Paz barely decided he was going to stay there because all of them could have got out. Or what if I throw a dark horse in there? What if it's Bo-Katan?
See, everyone's saying it's the armor. Everyone's saying it's the armor for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Even that I'm kind of like, I don't know.
It's too obvious, isn't it?
It's too obvious. It's too obvious, but I don't know.
But what if it's Bo-Katan? What if it is her? She talked about that story, and she brought up Moff Gideon again, and she was sitting there, and she was pissed off with all Mandalorians. And let's say she set this stuff up beforehand, before Din and her really got in there, before Grogu.
Yeah, I can't think it's. I mean, it could be. That would be a crazy twist, but I don't think it's them. It's gonna be somebody like minor. I feel like no, it's the refuge group. I think. They didn't even know all this stuff was going on.
They didn't know what was going to happen. So
yeah. I don't know. So real quick, like I thought the episode was great. Even the Grogu thing at first, I'm like rolled my eyes, but then as it kind of went along, and it was kind of funny with the yes. Like it was stupid, But
it was Lucas. You trying to compare Lucas, and Lucas says, Lucas, no, come on, let's go. No.
Yeah, it's legit a baby, with giant mech suit. It was stupid, but it was yeah. It was good. It just kind of proved the point that like Jon Favreau had no idea that Grogu was going to be in this season. That's kind of the exclamation point of like, this character shouldn't be here. So we're doing just random shit with him, you know. Like thanks, KK.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, he caught on. He sells toys. you know.
Yeah. This dude's got like 4 or 5 Grogus. I see another one back there too. Another Grogu.
I had to balance it out. I didn't know what to do with the shelf, so I just
put on both.
Well, his armor. I gotta get Grogu with his his droid.
Yeah, because that's gonna be another toy that they're gonna do. Yeah. Oh, did I miss one? I'm gonna need a Grogu love song by Jack Black, not some of the features. Oh yeah, because Jack Black is. Instead of Jack Black, it'll be Lizzo, right?
No. Yes, no.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought this episode was great. Like Brandon said, I love seeing them do Mandalorian badass shit and fighting, and that was super cool. But yeah, to I don't know who the other spy was, because obviously we got the whole like Blade Runner kind of sequence in the beginning, like Coruscant all dark and rainy. I was like, that was awesome. That was so awesome, And then the droid, the droid comes in and So I thought that was super cool. Seeing Moff Gideon in his full get up with the helmet and everything. I was like, oh shit, okay. Like we're going that route. And then I see why I don't think Bo is the spy is because I think she feels all the regret. Because now we know how she lost it and Moff got it from in between Rebels and this show. Is she's basically like, I gave it to him.
Yep. I tried to save everybody.
Try to save people. Yeah.
I loved you so much that I gave up the thing that I thought that was the most important to me, and then listen to the story. But here's everyone talking about it like, well, I don't give a fuck about this Darksaber. And I know they're gonna follow you with the Darksaber, so he gives it to her and says, so you rightfully did it in battle. I'm going to give it to you. Yeah.
But just how upset, because even then I don't know, because Sasha Banks character was gonna say something and she stopped her. She's like, So that's a whole kind of interesting thing. But yeah, man, it was good. I don't know who the other spy was. The big thought of everyone is the armorer, because they even asked. They're like, oh, because she brought up the different factions of everything, and he goes, oh, you're was that Black Watch, Dark Watch?
Yeah,
no,
Dark
Black
Watch. Dark Watch.
Yeah. And she goes, oh, they're no longer together, and I'm like, are they though? Because I've been saying from the beginning, she's not a good guy. And
she could be the one that's bringing all the whole thing with her and Moff Gideon is that she's bringing all the Mandalorians to one place so they could be eliminated, so she could just have her one faction. And she's the only one doing it. And then once again, her horns. You see Moff Gideon's Mandalorian. So now they have their the armor, right? Yeah, they have Mandalorian armor. And you saw what he had, the little emblem he had on him, looked very similar to her little horns.
Well, yeah, he had horns on his helmet. On his, and then I mean, even the commando, the super commandos is what those stormtroopers were. Those are from Rebels, I believe, or Rebels or Clone Wars. I forgot which one but that's from the whole faction of Guard Daxon, I think his name was, and he kind of he was a Mandalorian that went with the Empire to make these like Imperial Super Commando Mandalorians, which is kind of basically what we saw in this episode. So and he was also
you've always saw the armorer. She's the one that really knows how to make Mandalorian armor, right? So you have to know how to do this stuff.
Yeah, there you go. Death Watch. Thank you.
Yeah, Death Watch. So you have to know how to use it, how to do this, how to form it. She's the only one that really knows how to do that.
That we know of so far.
That would make perfect sense. But it just seems too much like
on the nose.
Yeah, right on the nose. Like exactly what's going on. Come on, man.
Yeah.
I mean, especially with Axe over there. What's his name?
Axe Wolves or whatever his name is.
Axe Wolves.
Fucking awesome name.
My name's Axe Wolves.
Yeah. It's like fucking Homer Simpson, Max Powers. Those are the vibes I got.
Oh man, that's good. That's funny.
Yeah. So real quick, you got Xavier said, I'm sure Favreau was none too pleased with KK's interference. That's the rumor. Yeah. He was ready to leave. He was ready to well, I'm done. But
yeah,
we'll see. Supposedly Iger said oh no, you're good. KK won't F with your stuff anymore. That's the only reason he stayed. Supposedly, all rumor. Allegedly.
This bothers me because she's the one doing all the announcements at Star Wars Fest. She's making all these other things. I don't even want to get to this big argument because we could talk about this a little later. This whole thing will bring it back.
Yeah.
I don't even want to say it. Never mind. But because that's a whole nother level that we go. That's a tirade. It's like me talking about Batman. That's just gonna go on that.
Yeah. But I mean, technically, she's still the boss. So until she's got the boot, I get she has to be the face.
Ray was retired. It was over. We were done.
Yeah.
But no, we're not talking about Ray. That's a whole nother can of worms, man. Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Let's just talk about Paz
we are going to talk about that.
And Axe Wolves. Let's just talk about that fight. That was an awesome fight to see.
So real quick, people have been so impatient, but these couple episodes have brought things together and made everything clearer. Yeah.
Yes,
yeah. I'm still interested in, because now what's her name works for on Coruscant, works for Moff Gideon. We kind of figured that out in that episode that everyone hated.
Yeah,
but I feel like
for the 40-minute cutaway.
that scene real quick. I don't know what everyone thought about the scene of all the, what are they called, the Shadow Council or whatever they call themselves. What do you guys think about that? Because we saw a lot of other people
we've seen forever. We saw
people from Legends. They were getting into it now.
Yeah.
So, Brandon, what you think about that one? All the evil super Imperial guys.
Oh, that was awesome.
Yeah.
You seeing Grieve Karga?
I did. And it kind of plants the potential seeds, even with the Admiral Thrawn name drop at the beginning of the episode. They're doing little world building in the TV Star Wars universe. I think obviously there's going to be some payoff with Ahsoka in a couple months. So I really liked them kind of bringing them in. I thought that was cool, and I really liked how they how they fit in near the end of the episode. That was awesome.
I mean, how they connected Thrawn and everything. But I said Grieve Karga. Just hear me out, guys, real quick. Before I know, what if he's the spy?
I wouldn't necessarily rule that out.
Yeah.
That makes even more sense because he's talking to Mando, and it gets really more back to Mando and the Mandalorian that the person he knows is the spy, the one he trusts the most is a spy, and he's the one that
it would make sense too.
He said, "I bring all Mandalorians over here." I want everyone to come. They're all welcome. Why are they all welcome? How do you get the money?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like all this stuff that starts to really, Grieve Karga could be the one. He could be the spy.
That's what I was going to say, and I forgot. But it makes sense because it's like, the Empire guys and all these other people, the New Republic or whatever they're calling themselves, could have all went to him like, hey, we want this, and he's like, okay, I'll make a deal with you guys. Leave me alone, and I'll give you the Mandalorians. Like that could be just that simple. It would suck because I would hate to see Carl Weathers
Creed.
You
don't know who everyone knows, but
like
Grieve
that.
Karga is Carl Weathers.
Yeah,
and all that could have been him.
Yeah,
he could be the one, the spy that knows where everything's going on, that's setting everyone up, and even because he really want Grogu to go into the robot, right? What if that robot is secretly a prison, way to capture Grogu?
Yeah,
he has a
button into a cage.
Well, he has a button, and then the mind that he said, "Oh, it was erased," is actually there, and he captures Grogu and takes him to Moff Gideon.
Yeah, could be. Yeah,
that makes me so sad.
That's why I hope it's not. The armor makes more sense, but like you said, it's a little too on the nose. But so like here, I brought it up real quick. So we got Captain, was it Palion, whatever.
The one who walks off the
in the Legends, he is like the right hand man of Thrawn, kind of. So seeing him, and then obviously he's the one that kept talking about Thrawn, and then the one I thought was really cool was we got Hux. Like we are connecting the sequel trilogy to this stuff. With Hux, I'm like, did he just say Hux?
We're connecting Rebels. We're connecting Rebels to all this stuff. I mean, this is a lot.
Yeah, he's doing a bunch of stuff. So seeing that, and then how obsessed he was with the whole cloning stuff, and I was like, obviously it makes sense because of Snoke, this and that. Like I now I'm kind of curious because now knowing is like, oh, he wants the cloning stuff. So like, how's that connection between him
to bring
and
the Emperor
Snoke?
back? To bring the Emperor
but
back.
I want to know how that is because remember, like, spoiler, if you haven't seen the sequel trilogy, he's a spy. He's secretly against the First Order. Yep. So, which is crazy. That was so stupid, but whatever. Like the highest guy in all of the fucking army military thing is the spy. That makes no sense. Like, but yeah. But then we got Project Necromancer. They brought that up, which is the whole thing from
talking to the dead, basically bringing up the dead.
Oh yeah, they bring it up in they're talking to the, but it's what I can't think of the Palpatine stuff. All the clones and all that stuff. So, but then we got the Praetorian Guards, which is what we got in the Last Jedi. So although in here I thought they were cooler. Because they all didn't wait their turn to fight. Like they're
trying to win. They're finally trying to win.
Yeah. So,
man, I really just blow my own mind with this whole Carl Weathers. Man, it's kind of ruined the entire thing. If I'm right, I will be so mad. Exactly what Zach just said. The bottle of wine could have a tracker in it. And that's where they know exactly what's going on and exactly where they are. Yeah, and that's why it's so important that I need to drink this, and why it's so important that Grogu was in the robot, and he said all those things. Why it's so important to bring all the Mandalorians to one place.
Yeah,
man. Yeah. I hope I'm wrong.
I was lost. I don't know who any of them are. Yeah. Which is fine. You just know they're a council of evil guys, like super evil guys, But if you know a lot of the backstory, you're kind of like, oh shit, oh cool, like you kind of like are like, So I think it could play either way.
Even with that though,
Star Wars Illuminati.
But it's so weird because they're all even now still looking for Thrawn. This is a decade. This is a decade past Thrawn being gone.
Yeah. Well, see, he never said they're looking for him. They're just waiting for him to reveal himself. So I was like, I wonder what that means.
I mean, but Moff Gideon's saying if he's here, show himself. Like, where is he? I don't believe he's even around. And I thought that was kind of good. That means Moff Gideon's probably gonna have to get killed because Thrawn's going to be kill him.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, that'd be so cool. But. Yeah. I don't know, man. I mean, it could have been just as simple as like, what's her name from Coruscant told Moff Gideon they're going to Mandalore, and he knows. He's like, well, where are they going to go? They're going to go to the heart of the planet, which is the Forge.
But they knew exactly where they're going, so that's what makes me think it's.
But
it's armor, right?
What if it's that easy?
But if it's not the armorer, man,
it could be a bunch of them, but
I mean, Greek Karga just makes more and more sense the more I talk about it.
It does
because he knows exactly where they're going. He pinpoint exactly where they are. This But then the thing that I thought about is like they trapped the rest of the Mandalorians, and then of course Katan was able to think, oh, I have the Darksaber. Let me cut a way out and let's all get out this way.
That was badass.
But she knew exactly how to do it. Like so many of these things could be set up. So, I mean, as much as I feel like I know who is Greek Karga, it could be any of them still. The armor still could be it, but I think that's two on the nose. Bo-Katan could still be it. It still could be, wolves, ex-wolves.
Yeah, actual. I don't know. I just kind of hope it's like that simple. Was just like I was told you're coming to the planet, and I know you're going to come here. You know, hence why they build the rebel like base right next to the forge. You know, like why was their little air base kind of thing right next to the forge? It makes sense. It's like, yeah, I'm going to be in the heart of the planet.
How would they have not seen it? Because the rest of the people. Oh, that's the other thing. Oh, I forgot about the rest of those Mandalorians live there. Yeah. How would they not have never seen this?
Yeah, true.
The general could have been the one that that set all that up too. That makes a lot more sense too.
That's what Dupree was saying. Yeah. You know, he literally led them to where right to him,
and he knew it was going to be there because it was already set up that way. This is not something that happened overnight.
No, yeah. So yeah, man, this last episode is going to be really, really entertaining. So real quick, any bad things you didn't like from this one, Brandon?
Just kind of the Grogu stuff, like I briefly touched on, and like we all briefly touched on, kind of got a little distracting. You could kind of cut it, and you wouldn't miss anything from the episode. And that's kind of going for a lot of the Grogu content this entire season to me. You could tell he's just kind of shoehorned.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's all in the name of selling toys.
But I feel like Favreau knows it feels that way, and he's doing it on purpose.
Yeah, I think just like you guys said, stuff. Like Grogu wasn't. I don't think Grogu was meant to be a permanent figure in the grand scheme of things. He's just very much there at this point. I also think, I think a lot of Pedro Pascal's role was probably ADR with this because he was probably off busy with The Last of Us.
Mm-hmm.
He's really taking a back seat, not just to Bo-Katan, but pretty much everyone. It's kind of like,
I feel like they're setting that up though. I feel like they are setting up him picking up the Darksaber and having to lead, being the leader that he does not want to be.
They could,
because it's the little things that he said. Like he says, she talks about the Darksaber and the factions, don't even care. He doesn't nothing. His faction doesn't care about the Darksaber or know its meaning. So, and he tells her, your song hasn't been written yet. And he said, I will serve you until it is. And,
that was super cool.
And him saying that just made me think she's going to die, and she's going to say, "Dan, I need you to lead us. You're the only one that doesn't judge anyone. You're the one that's been an outsider more than anyone.
Most honorable out of everyone.
And I need you to be the one to lead us. Carry on when I'm asked when I was doing when I started. Mm-hmm. Help everyone know my song. Help everyone sing my song." And that's how. And that's how it ends. And guess what? And it goes exactly where Favreau wanted to be for last season. That's where it ends. And then now it's the Mandalorian again, and he has the opportunity to move on and do more.
Yeah, but yeah, man, that would be really interesting if they'd go that route. Because I mean, at this point, you could kill Bo because in the sequel trilogies, just Mandalorians aren't even talked about at all, like nothing. But yeah, I mean, you can definitely go there. I think that'll be really, really interesting because then this whole season's been about Bo, so you set her up and put her on a platform just to kind of knock her off,
So, but what it does like what Favreau says. Favreau didn't like the way these things were going, so this whole season becomes a waste basically. If Favreau gets exactly the story that he wanted to have at the beginning with Bo, or with Mando, the Darksaber. And now he has Mandalorians, and they're on Mandalore. Mm-hmm. So you have the story that he wants, and he can continue it any way he wants in the movie and anything he wants. He can do anything.
Yeah. Because then that would be interesting because then you could put the Armorer was the bad guy, so now that faction doesn't have a leader. Bo's faction doesn't have a leader, and he's like, "Hey, look at me."
And they all look up to him. And he's the one that saved them. Brought them there, and he's the one with the Darksaber, so all factions look at it. And maybe he rides the Mythosaur. Maybe because they're running, right? They're gonna run to the waters of Mandalore.
I don't know. They didn't say where they're running.
But that's the only way they could go. They have to go underground.
Go further down.
Yeah.
But
and if he gets the meth store, whoo, it's all over.
Well, he got so this one's very spoilers for anybody. This one's very anti-dad. They kill Paz, which was very sad. That sucked. I'm not gonna lie. As soon as I started liking him even more this season, I'm like, damn, I like him. They fucking kill him, and then they kidnap or capture Din. So now we got the only two dad characters that we know in the show are either dead or captured, which sucks. So that's kind of interesting.
The one at the very end of the episode who died, right?
Yeah,
yes.
The father with the youngling, and he tells him, no, you go. They're going to follow you. I need to stop you here. And he was badass. He
talk about going out in that haze of glory, though.
Yeah, for sure. So that brings up an issue I had, because he's like, there's so many. He literally took them all out by himself. So if the rest of them stayed, like, everything would have been okay, right? I mean, logistics.
This is reinforcements. Let's keep on sending more and more. Because after the first wave, they killed all the first wave, and then they brought.
I guess,
more.
yeah.
And then he killed the
they
second
brought
wave.
The three.
Yeah, and he kills them, and then another wave comes, and then everyone ends up dead.
Yeah. So that was the only thing I was thinking. I'm like, damn. So he went out, but he killed all of them. Where they just sent the three, and the three took them out.
I think the guards. He allowed them to get away, to put space in between them and the captors. They're not going. They can hide now.
Yeah, get away. But yeah, going out on Blaze of Glory like that, I think is kind of like it's kind of really, really cool.
Yeah, he took some people down with him. You got to give him
a lot. Took a lot. So super. That was sad, but sets up the big issue for next episode for that.
The last episode, guys. This is it.
This is it.
We're going
for
the
season.
More. The season's over.
Did it say how long this last episode is?
I think they did release that, and that is going to be very long, and I cannot wait.
Better.
I mean, this was 52 minutes.
Yeah, it was like 50-something minutes.
Yeah, this was good length.
I watched it as soon as it came out. I was like, let's watch this now.
Well, you have to watch these things because they get spoiled really quick.
Yeah, exactly.
Was it chapter 23 is the last one? No, chapter 24 is the last one.
24, yeah.
40 minutes.
What, only 40 minutes?
40 minutes.
Wow.
And it's going to be the same director that Rick, who's that? Famuyiwa. Yeah. Which makes sense because they've been doing that a lot. Like the last two episodes are kind of like a part 1, part 2 type of situation. So, yeah.
He's a good director. It looks like he really kind of found his niche with the Mandalorian. Like he's directed a lot of stuff that I've liked. Like he did The Wood. He did Dope, which was a great movie.
Dope. Oh my God, that was good.
He was supposed to do the Flash movie, but he backed out of that.
Oh, that's right.
originally he was going to direct that, which I would have been interested to see.
Mm-hmm. That was cool.
You know, I just thought about Grief Karga again with the droids were all shaky and stuff and anxious, and when the giant warship came out and he seemed like he knew it was coming, like this is all part of his plan. Man, this I'm just getting vibes. I'm starting to, man.
Yeah, and
the old black guy did it.
Well, kind of like because like if you ever take like film studies or stuff like that, there's always foreshadowing. You know what I mean? And now that you brought that up, it was like the foreshadow part would have been Bo did it. Bo was like, "Hey, I sacrificed giving up the thing I loved, you know, or cared for the greater good, even though I still got burned." Is that gamble with Carl Weathers? Carl Weathers like, I'm gonna give up one of the things I care for a lot, Mando and all his people, for the safety. But in the end of the day, is that not gonna if that's the case, is Mando gonna come back next season and save his ass when the Empire or the I don't know what they're called, the New Republic, the Shadow Council, whatever they're called, come in like, hey, yeah, you gave us what we wanted, but we're still gonna F you up, and then Din has to come save the day. So I don't know.
I'm excited to see next week.
Yeah, oh for sure. And Xavier said it perfect. Hopefully the last episode brings it all together. I hope so. I hope so.
I 100% behind you. Yes.
Yeah. So, one last thing, and then we'll finish on this one. Any cameo predictions for the last episode? What do you guys think?
Yeah, you? Me?
What you got, Brandon?
They could.
Does Luke Skywalker come back and save him again?
I was thinking there could be, but they could potentially bring back Luke in some way, shape, or form. But heck, they could even bring in Ahsoka just kind of as a little bridge to her show in a couple months.
Yeah,
I think that's
Ahsoka. That's what.
So if I had to kind of narrow it down between the two, I'd say her.
Mm-hmm.
If I'd be fine with no cameos personally, but I think there'll probably be at least one little Easter egg for her show. So I'll lean in. I'll lean in the direction of Ahsoka.
Yeah,
me too.
Call.
Yeah.
I would say Ahsoka and Sabine.
That's what I said. Yeah, Ahsoka and Sabine.
Yeah. And Sabine. I would throw, because if Ahsoka shows up, it would only make sense that Sabine shows up, because now you get to introduce Sabine before. But I don't know. But the trailer for the Ahsoka makes it seem like that's the first time they meet is like, in the trailer. So I don't know.
That's kind of what I was taking into account.
Or it's just Sabine.
Or it's just Sabine by herself.
Yep.
Yeah.
And now we know where she is, and then when the beginning of Ahsoka, we know where she's coming from, and that kind of makes perfect sense.
Yeah,
flows very well together.
I want to see her so bad, just all graffitied out, colorful Mandalorian. That's why so many people were losing their minds with like when the armor was like spray painting, I guess, the armor, and I was like, how do you think it got color? Like they have to paint it somehow, you know what I mean? It was like, it's the same thing with Sabine, like, she's like really tagged up all her armor. It was like there is paint in this universe. There has to be, so I was like, if that made you mad, wait till you see her. Like she's gonna be like, markered on her helmet and all that crazy shit. So so I hope it's her. But if like Brandon said, if it's nothing and it just stays in its own kind of thing, I'm cool with that too, as long as we get a good ending.
I hope we get an ending. Yeah.
So I can't wait. I personally liked this entire season. I thought it was good so far, but the last episode is always the deciding factor if something is good or not.
If we have a great episode here, I think I will say this is a very good season. It had a few missteps, but overall still a very good season.
Yeah. I mean, especially like some people, Den of Nerds said he hated this episode, and I was like, what? Like, you're crazy, man. You're crazy. But his
own taste, and he missed it.
Yeah. But anything else, guys, before we move on?
No, I just can't wait to see it. Let's go Wednesday. Let's go.
Yeah, it'll be super fun. But cool. Thank you everyone in chat hanging out with us. If you're live, stick around. We're gonna talk about some other stuff. If you're watching our replay, thank you for checking us out. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, so YouTube knows what we're doing is good. And join us next week, Wednesday. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that bell, and it'll let you know when we are live, and we can talk about that finale next Wednesday. But if not, leave a comment down below and let us know what you got about this episode and what you think might happen in the finale. But that is it for this one. We are going to move on to something else.